Welcome, everyone, to Enlightened World Network. Our show today is a meditation a day. And I'm Sue Seekoff, your host, and we're here with an amazing man, Dr. Phillip Mountrose, who is the co-founder of Awakenings Institute with his wife, Jane Mountrose, and he'll tell you more about it later. Welcome, Phillip.
Great being with you, Sue, and Enlightened World Network, and everyone tuning in, waking up.
It's such a great day to have a guided meditation. We look forward to what you're presenting, and I guess I'll let you go ahead and get started.
Okay, let me intro this because it's a rather interesting intro and story that engage you and more fully go deeper into your awareness as we do this. And the intro should be awakening in itself. So the title of the meditation is In the Flow Above the Fray. Do you like that, Sue? In the flow above the fray.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's
So I'm sure many people have heard both in the flow and above the fray. I don't know if anyone has heard the two combined, but they actually fit hand in glove, transcendently so, as I'm going to explain, and we'll experientially go into this meditation in a moment. So how did this come about? This sort of uncanny, novel, potent connection of flow and above the fray. Uh, well, using oracle cards, different ones, I did an oracle reading on myself, as I often do in the morning as a morning meditation, when I was having a little bit of challenges and strange, some malaise, some not sure what's going on kind of feelings of how to deal with things. And the card that I drew from the really wonderful deck called Mystical Shaman Oracle was the card called How to Deal with This Sort of What's Going On. I'm not sure. I feel uncomfortable. Things don't seem right, but it feels off. I'm not sure what's going on. The card that I drew to answer that was Flow. Flow. And it looks like a shaman with sort of a mystical fire with a moon or planetary something global behind him. I think it's a him. It could be a her. It looks kind of androgynous. It's a shaman deck. Okay, flow, flow. So let's define our terms because that's enlightening in itself. In the flow above the fray. So there is, first of all, let's figure out what the fray is. That's an interesting thing. What is the fray we are all encountering today? Virtually everyone in the world, certainly everyone watching, listening right now. The fray has to do with multiple crises, sometimes called meta crises, many challenges, big and small. The bigger ones, of course, are global climate challenges. There's geographic challenges. Of course, there's territorial and wars going on. Ethnic identity can be wrapped into that. Religion, um, politics. There's a lot of fray in politics, as we know, polarization. There can be family fray, in the fray with your family, in the fray at work relationships and politics and career and money. That can be part of the fray, money and economics, of course. So all of that gets rather combustible and can be rather confusing and overwhelming. And it's like being stressed from different directions and you're not sure which way to go. You're being pulled about. So that's being in the fray, which it's very easy to get enmeshed in that, captured by that, unless you become more awakened to it, first of all, which is what we're exploring right now. And as you awaken to being in the fray, the answer, as I said, that I received from the oracle deck was flow. One powerful word. So there's going with the flow, which is also part of that card, which is being aware of cycles in nature, and being attuned to nature is one part of being in the flow. And being in the flow more going in the flow rather than just being in the flow, going in a flow state, engaging in a flow state, activates something you're highly interested in, something where you're using your talents and gifts intentionally, enjoyably. It's creative. It's synchronous. The timing is wonderful. Things are going just right. And you're doing it regardless almost of the outcome because you're so enjoying it. You're in the flow. And that's something that can be triggered intentionally by a good place is just being aware of the cycles of nature, as we said, going with the flow and being aware of things that interest you. What's creative? What engages you? How can you use your talents and gifts to be more creative, productive, enjoy your life, help others? So that's being, especially being in the flow, engaging a flow state. And then the last part, because the title is today in the flow above the fray. I mentioned what the fray was. Above the fray what is it like to be above the fray? We all know what that's like, right? We're more calm. We're more centered. We're more open and equanimous, equanimity, quiet, reflective, accepting, and creative. We're also open to infinite, pure potential. What is possible when we're above the fray? A lot, maybe infinitely so, beyond space and time. We're more pure love and accessing goodness and beauty. There's a lot of grace and gratitude above the fray too, and that flow gets us there. So that's an introduction to the meditation we're about to experience about going in the flow above the fray. I thought I would bring in maybe an angelic support for this. And since I drew this card earlier in my meditation today, I'm going to use that about opening your heart. And that's Archangel Chamuel. And we can use opening your heart as a way of being in the flow. That feels right too. Yes. Okay, so let's put these elements together and just relax. If you can, close your eyes, breathe. Breathe pure, clear breaths, relaxing breaths in through your nose slowly, easily, and exhaling, releasing. Breathing in through your nose slowly, bringing in your own energy back to you, and exhaling, releasing what you no longer need, slowly, easily, gently. Breathing in through your heart as well, opening up all your cells and exhaling, releasing, letting go of anything you don't need right now, being more in this moment. And as you become more and more in the moment, you start to feel the gentle flow. It might be like a gentle breeze or gentle brook, water, air, the elements gently flowing through you, around you, in and out. And that can help lift you up, lift your state to a higher state above the thought forms, above the fray, above the confusion and madness that we often encounter in our daily lives, and people fighting and talking past each other, and sometimes opposing and even hurting each other, harming each other, and going to a safe place above this fray where we can get a big 10,000 foot view, a 10 million year view, a vast, infinite, and eternal view of the now, where we see things from a much different perspective. We're breathing that in. And from this huge view, from it may be in a mountaintop, it may be in the clouds, it may be at the top of the world, wherever you feel the flow flowing gently, easily, in the right way for you now. Good. And as you breathe and relax in the flow from this wonderful summit, this wonderful high, eternal, higher dimensional space, which is in space and beyond space. You feel in time and beyond time. It's all happening right now as you relax and let go even more. Knowing that from your little space and time and space right now, you can influence things by being calmer, like you are now, more peaceful, like you are now, quieter, reflective, accepting, surrendering to this moment, knowing that you're more in sync, more in flow with the universe, and allowing that harmony to radiate through you and out into the world as you feel more of the love and the goodness and the beauty that is easily accessible here now at the top of the world, at your summit, above the divisive thought forms and polarities and fray of the 3D dimension that we usually live in. Just breathing and sitting on the top of the world in your summit, above the fray, in the flow now. And with this, allowing more grace to flow through you and into the world. And you're grateful. You're grateful for being in this flow above the fray now. And you might have an image or a symbol come to you, a color, a shape, a message, a mantra, something to send to the world as a gift of helping people be more in the flow above the fray now. And receiving that wonderful image, gift, energy that you can send out back into the world to help ease people's minds and heart and help them see that they too can be in the flow above the fray as you are right now. Being more and more in the flow, more and more flowing, allowing that symbol to flow through you out into the world. Bringing in now Archangel Chamuel, who removes the barriers around the heart. Just allowing his energy to come in, and we can receive a message from him today too. And he says, or yes, I guess it is a he. He says, we'll use that term. As you open your heart, the world opens to you. And you see so many more possibilities of loving and giving and sharing from your heart to others. And although this may seem small to you, it is not. It is in the moment. It may be you're smiling or receiving someone else's smile. You're saying thank you or receiving someone else's thanks. You're giving someone a gift of a positive comment, a positive message, or something to help them maybe in a more material way. It could be a service you provide, money you provide, something that is helpful to other people. And you allow that to flow through you and receiving what other people are giving to you, because that increases the circulation of flow. And you may be good at certain things that you can easily harness and share with others. You might be good at healing or teaching or art or serving or researching or something else that you can just share in the moment easily and naturally with others. And as you do that, your heart opens, and so do the other people receiving. And they, like you, are more in flow, and they do not have to focus on the divisions and see a better way out of the fray into love and goodness and beauty, which is all around once you allow it to come through. So we love you with much love, healing, grace, gratitude, and more. Archangel Chamuel. And we thank him. Knowing that we have multiple support now and ways to be in the flow above the fray as we are now. And we will begin to come down more grounded into our body from our summit, from our top of the world, knowing that Archangel Chamuel is still there for support now or at any time. And there are many other supports, our soul, higher guides, angels, masters, and more, all there for us to help us be more in flow above the fray now. So coming down, counting, coming into our bodies. And this I will count now to awaken us. 1, 2, 3, ready to open our eyes, come back, being more in the flow, grounded above the fray, but able to be helpful to ourselves and others now going forward. 4, ready to open your eyes. 5, opening your eyes back where you are, grounded, flowing, peaceful, reflective, creative, and whatever you need in this moment for yourself and to help others.
Thank you, Philip.
Yes, you're welcome, Sue. Any thoughts from you about being in the flow above the fray?
I really love the summit. I felt myself like on top of the Himalayas looking out, and it was a very beautiful, peaceful time. And then it shifted, and I started seeing families from Israel, and it seemed like I was sending them love and light, that my energy was open and lifted, and I was meeting the grief. And it teared me up, but I'm glad that I could make a transmission like that with them. And I'll tell you, it was the strongest transmission like that I've had. So interesting.
Yeah. Well, I guess you got the right time and place and the energy of being in flow above the fray to in your heart to transmit to others. Like, and that's certainly a good place to send it.
Yeah, I had no idea that was going to happen.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. So what did you send to the people in Israeli Palestine, that area? What were you sending?
It was caring, and it was nourishment and love, and just positive energy to kind of help them, lift them up, and to feel a little balance. And it was very clear, so I just stayed with that. And I guess they needed some, that kind of good positive energy that I'm able to hold because I'm here and I'm safe and I have that to offer.
Right. Yeah, we can just do what we can with what we have in the moment, and that makes all the difference. You know, if we feel positive and hopeful and doing things that we're good at, you know, you're good at so many things, the internet things, website things, communication things. If you use that in a positive way, that's wonderful, isn't it?
It's always wonderful to be able to give and to lift someone up a little bit.
It is. It makes you feel good and it really lightens your load. And that's where we started, where I was in that malaise, as I was talking about a couple weeks ago. And you know, it's funny because the world has so much stress and so many crises, not to mention all the people you know and all the challenges they're having with their health and their families and money and et cetera, et cetera. It it can easily kind of almost sabotage you or sap your energy if you're not in a conscious place or just a certain recognize like what's going on here. You know, it's like a almost like a whirlpool or a sabotaging kind of thing or a quicksand. And then that's where this meditation came from. As I mentioned, the Oracle card, if you start to recognize, hey, wait a second, something's going on here. I'm not, you know, in some ways, in my case, it wasn't real obvious. It wasn't like, oh, it's A, B, and C. I was actually feeling pretty good and things were going well, but I still wasn't feeling well. You know, sometimes it's real obvious, like, oh, you know, like a friend of mine, his daughter-in-law is having a problem with her pregnancy and his family is arguing. And, you know, I mean, it's real obvious where the stress is coming from. So But sometimes, hey, I'm doing well. I'm in my passion. I'm helping people, but there's still stuff, and a lot of light workers, way showers like ourselves, and light world networkers um, are going to encounter this, and we need to sort of rejuvenate, see what the problem is, get back, find out, hey, we got out of flow. Let's get in the flow and go
Mm.
above the fray.
For me, it's making time to be quiet and just limiting how much I'm doing or giving so
Right,
that I can recharge myself. And that
right,
in itself is not, that's not a common thing in our culture, especially during the holidays. And
right.
so I find that helps me kind of get to a place where I feel grounded and steady and I have something back to give and I can keep thriving, and offer it to people around me who might be struggling.
Right. And I think you sort of encapsulated the meditation we just did. It's a way of recharging, getting in the flow, and grounding yourselves. Uh, so when you come back, you have the energy, you have the right frame of mind, you have the right open heart to be more loving and grateful and effective.
Yeah. And you can tap into your good energy because you
Right.
have a reserve, because
Right.
you've done the self work, of maybe being quiet or maybe, you know, doing some exercise, something for yourself to kind of build that resource and that resilience. So when someone needs you, maybe, you have it.
You can be in the flow above the fray,
Yeah, exactly.
as as we're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, great sharing that. Um, and anything else we should do to conclude? I can mention what's coming up in our nonprofit organization, Awakenings Institute. Is there anything else we should touch on?
Yes. Tell us about anything you have coming up. I'm open to hearing it.
Yes, we have a uh, angelic EFT gift set that
Oh,
we'll
well,
be offering soon. So go to gettingthrough.org/holistic, and I'll send you the link for that.
okay.
How to do EFT with the angels. Uh, gettingthrough.org/holistic, and just sign up for our newsletter, and we'll let you know. And I'll send you a link for that. I can put a link in the notes to you too.
Yeah.
And we have a spiritual guide program, a new 1-year program starting January 2024. So look for that. You can go to gettingthrough.org/spiritual/notify to be on the notification list, because we're going to announce that shortly. Getting through thru.org/spiritual/notify, and to be informed about that, because you may want to transform yourself with oracles like we did today, angels like we did today, also ascended masters, and the Akashic records, which is what the spiritual guide unique program does. We'll explore in depth in a group.
Well, it's a good reason to look forward to the new year.
It is.
Yeah. Lots to look forward to with Awakenings Institute. And Philip, thank you.
Great
I
being with you, Sue. Thanks for hosting.
Thanks. I appreciate every time you're with us on Enlightened World Network. We offer daily guided meditations and other shows. So do come back and join us, everyone. Thank you for being here.